Welcome back. Today we are going to learn how to solve one-step equations that involve multiplication or division. Okay. Now, this really isn't any more difficult than solving problems with addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division are opposite operations to each other. So if you have an equation that involves multiplication, you're going to divide. If you have an equation that involves division, you're going to multiply. I'll show you how it works. Okay, so here we have a lovely equation, and we need to write an expression for this equation. Okay, so on this side, I have two cups. They have the same number of cubes in each cup. They're both labeled A. So whatever is in one cup, if we multiply that by 2, because there's 2 cups, that'll be how many cubes we have. So our expression over on this side of the equation is 2A. 2 multiplied by A is going to tell us how many cubes are over here. And on the other side of the equation, we can count them up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes. So 2A is equal to 6. Now remember, I told you the opposite of multiplication is division. So because in this case, we're multiplying the variable by 2, we're going to divide by 2. Or in other words, we are going to take this side of the equation and cut it in half. Okay, it's pretty much the idea here. So we're going to divide both of these by 2. Now remember, there's many different ways to write division. Okay, so you could write the division sign with the 2 little dots. I prefer personally to use the slash method for showing this because it's really, really easy to see then how these two cancel out. You guys have been canceling fractions for a few years now. So we end up with A equals 6 divided by 2. What is 6 divided by 2? It's 3. Okay. So A equals 3, and we've solved our equation. Now visually, I can show you this as well, but because I zeroed out the weight of the cups on the scale, in order to do this, I'm going to divide these both in half, right? So 6, I have 2 pillars. If I cut the amount in half, bam, one of the pillars is going to disappear. Same thing here. I got 2 cups. If I cut this in half, one of the cups is going to disappear. But the scale doesn't look balanced because, unfortunately, we still have to deal with this empty cup. So I'm just going to put this cup back on the scale, even though it's empty, and it will bounce again. And you will be able to see that what is in this cup here is, in fact, hold on, you, 3 cubes, and it therefore does balance out, though it's going to be very stubborn about it. Okay, so our equation does balance. It works out. I can show you visually why and how it works. All right, now I'm also going to show you some division stuff. That's not easy to show on a scale. We're just going to do it on the board. Okay, so we have another expression, and it is this. We're always going to start with the variable here. It's harder to do it the other way around. Let's use x this time. Why not? X divided by 3 equals, let me think here, I don't know, 7. Okay, now remember, we're going to use the opposite operation to solve this, right? So what's the opposite of dividing by 3? You got it, it's multiplying by 3. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 3. Remember, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So over here, we're going to multiply by 3. So this is times 3. And this is times 3. These two cancel, so we're left with x equals 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, nice, neat way to show your work. Again, make sure you're not writing this all out on the same line. It looks like mathematical diarrhea. Okay, please do it properly. Now, if all you're worried about is being able to do the work on the worksheets, you can stop the video right now. You can go do your stuff. However, there is another problem that may show up occasionally, usually does at the grade 7 level. I'm going to show you how to work through that as well. Okay, so suppose that you had something like the reverse of that. Okay, no, let's not use a multiple of 7. Let's go with 12. 12 divided by, I don't know, we'll go with b this time, is equal to 4. Okay, now if you know your times tables, you should actually be able to look at that and say 12 divided by something is 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. You should be able to solve this by inspection. Okay, However, we then have to show our work and prove that b is equal to 3, okay? So what we're going to do here, we are going to do just like we did with the number. In order to get this off the bottom of this fraction here, we're going to multiply both sides by b. We're going to use opposite operations to untangle this mess, okay? So we're going to multiply both sides here by b. So this is times b, this is times b. So we end up with these canceling, and we get 12 equals 4b. And our next step is to say, okay, now I've got that b on the top of the fraction. I want it all over here by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Okay, so we're going to divide by 4. We're going to divide by 4. These cancel. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so 3 is equal to b. We've proven what we knew when we looked at this and we solved by inspection, that b is in fact equal to 3. Hope you enjoy your work this week. Join us again next week when we learn how to solve two-step equations that involve both addition and multiplication, or division and subtraction, those types of combinations. See you then.